Actually going to do a dimensional analysis problem, and so here we know a 10K run is 10 kilometers long, and we know 1 meter is 1.094 yards. We want to use the dimensional analysis to find the length of the race in miles, and for a hint, we know 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So they actually give us the conversion factors, 2 of the 3 that we're going to use. And the way we do this, I know I'm starting with 10 kilometers. And I'm going to write 10 kilometers over 1. And I don't know what I'm going to have to do to change it, but I know eventually I want that to be in miles. So I know eventually I want to get it into miles. So what I need to do is I need to somehow get kilometers to go away and end up with miles. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, if I want kilometers to go away, I know I need to have kilometers in the denominator. Because as soon as I have kilometers in the denominator, my kilometers are going to cancel out. And then I think, do I know how to go from kilometers to miles? Well, I don't know how to go from kilometers to miles, but I do know how to go from kilometers to meters. And since I can go from yards to miles and meters to yards, if I can get this into meters, I can use these 2 conversion factors to get where I want to go. So I'm going to convert this to meters, and I know there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. Notice, what I just wrote here, this actually is just like multiplying by 1. I'm not changing anything because 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. It's like a fancy 1 divided by 1. It's the exact same thing. So I'm not actually changing anything, but by doing this, now my kilometers can cancel out. So now I'm going to be left with meters in the numerator. But I don't want to be left with meters. I want to try to get to miles, but I don't know how to go from meters to miles, so I'm going to go from meters to yards. And so for my meters to cancel out, I need to put meters in the denominator, and I know 1 meter is the same as 1.094 yards. And now my meters will cancel out because I have a meter in the numerator and a meter in the denominator. And again, I just multiplied by a fancy 1. These 2 things are equal, so I'm not really changing anything besides the label. And then the last thing, now I've got it in yards, and I know how to go from yards to miles. I want yards to cancel out, so I need to put yards in the denominator, and I know there are 1,760 yards in 1 mile. And now my yards cancel out. And now all I'm left with a bunch of numbers being multiplied together, and I'm going to end up with miles. Notice, I've ended up with what I wanted to for my label. As soon as you've got what you want for your label, then you can just go ahead and multiply all your numbers together. I'm going to multiply all my numerators together, and I get 10,940 over 1,760. So I have 10,940 over 1,760 miles, and here's going to be another case where I'm okay with decimals. Let's just simplify this and round it to the nearest hundredth. What is this the same thing as? It is actually 6.22 miles. So it seems like a lot of work and that it takes a long time, but once you start getting used to doing these, you'll do them pretty quick. Okay? And what we just found out is that a 10-kilometer race is actually 6.22 miles long. That's why we do this dimensional analysis. It allows us to take something measured one way, in this case kilometers, and express it in another way, in this case miles.